What's up, family? This is your host, Ricardo Terrell, coming to you guys with another episode of the Fill Your Cup podcast. My mission is to inspire one soul at a time to ultimately inspire the world. Join me on a journey of self discovery, growth, and transformation as we explore ways to fill your cup and overflow with positivity, purpose, and passion. Get ready to be inspired, uplifted, and motivated to create a life that not only fulfills you, but radiates that fulfillment outward to touch the lives of others. Together, let's fill our cups and light up the world with positivity and possibility. Like, share, comment, and leave a review so that we can reach others that are seeking a life of purpose on purpose. Enjoy the show. Hey, what's up, Fill Your Cup fam? This is your host, Ricardo Terrell, coming to you guys with another episode of the Fill Your Cup podcast. My mission is to inspire one soul at a time to ultimately inspire the world. And today I plan to do that by telling you to put your oxygen mask on first. When you travel on an airplane, if there's an incident of low cabin pressure, the flight attendant will instruct you to put your oxygen mask on yourself before you try to help other people put their mask on. And the reason for this is that if you try and help someone else get their mask on before you, there's a possibility that you both could pass out from the lack of oxygen. I want to give a more in-depth look into this analogy and what transpires because I've heard this analogy countless times and it was just so profound to me. Okay. I ended up looking this up and it says if you don't put your oxygen mask on first during a flight, you could pass out due to hypoxia, a condition that occurs when the body doesn't have enough oxygen. Hypoxia can set in quickly, and you might only have about 30 seconds to put your mask on before the symptoms appear. Symptoms include confusion, lightheadedness, and a sense of euphoria. If you lose consciousness, you won't be able to help others. In the worst case, you and the people that you're trying to help could possibly die. Think of the significance of that, right? Every single day of our lives should be focused on putting our oxygen mask on first. That should be the quality decision that we make every single day. And that's not to say that other people are not important by any means. That's not to say that your life is not more valuable than theirs, but it is to emphasize the significance of what would transpire if you decide to take one of the two roads that lie in front of you. If your mission is to create the lifestyle that you truly desire, then I truly believe that this episode is for you because I'm going to give you guys the requirements that are needed to excel. Not because I think I'm a guru, it's because I've actually applied these things and my life has truly changed. And first and foremost, that starts with self care and personal growth. I want to emphasize the idea that by taking care of yourself first, you will be better equipped to help others effectively. Okay. What does this look like? For me, that means waking up in the morning and owning my routine. What does that look like? I wake up outside of brushing my teeth and taking care of my personal care. I go to the kitchen. I get 2 bottles of water. I make a cup of coffee and I go and sit at my table where I record these shows for you guys. And I set a timer for 30 minutes. What do you think I'm doing in that 30 minutes? I'm reading, I'm developing, I'm praying, I'm meditating, I'm writing down the thoughts that the Holy Spirit is blessing me with. I can't even explain how many ideas have came to me just this week alone about new business ventures and how to sharpen and hone certain skill sets that I already have. That all comes to me during that time. And then after that, I go and conquer the world. That 30 minutes, that morning routine is me putting on my armor before I leave my household because you never know what's going to come your way, right? So be prepared. What else do? I go and work out. Why is that? because I'm not working out to just be healthy. I'm working out because God blessed me with this life. I have a God body. I have a God body. And I want you guys to embody that statement, right? If you haven't been happy with the way that you look, with the way that you feel, take ownership, take accountability in that and say, you know what? I'm going to draw a line in the sand. That's what I did. And I want to take some time to give myself a round of applause because this time last year I was 45 pounds heavier. I was 45 pounds heavier. I woke up this morning at 213 pounds. I was 45 pounds heavier. And for me, my personal standards, that was so unacceptable. And it's crazy to sit here and even think about me being that size because I wasn't chunky, I wasn't chubby, I wasn't any of that because of the work that I had did years prior to last year. And I'm specifically referring to the gym. I was neglecting myself and I was experiencing burnout, resentment, and it was hindering my ability to support others the way that I needed to. But I drew a line in the sand. I made a decision last summer that I was getting back on track. And guess what? I did. Because if I didn't, I wouldn't be sitting here now at 213 pounds. I fast every day for a minimum of 16 hours. The longest fast that I've done was last week, and it was for 22 hours. I did one day this week that was 20 hours, and I'm just like, man, I could hit that 24, but I typically eat a little bit later. I eat my last meal a little bit later, which I'm working on trying to get that in sooner. But I'm not looking to be eating at 10:30 at night, you know. But anyway, I feel amazing. The enlightenment that I have is incredible. The awareness that I have, it's at a level that I never experienced before because I've never had this state of mind. And state of mind is what drives our decisions. It's all intertwined, okay? So self-care and personal growth, the downfalls are what I explained with the burnout, resentment, and truly hindering yourself. Number two would be boundaries and prioritization. When you realize that you are worth more than society has told you, you will indefinitely value yourself and your time. We all have 24 hours in a day, all right? And if you're old enough to understand, I'm sure that we all know that. But the difference between the people that win and lose is the investment of those 24 hours. I remember when I first started my personal growth journey, which ultimately led to me constantly pursuing leadership development. I was receiving phone calls at this point in my life from different family members and friends, and I say this with a genuine heart, but they were constant complainers. All right. I just want to share that facts are not attacks. Okay. This is just the reality. So I vividly remember one of these phone calls being 25 minutes, 25 minutes. Okay. And I remember looking at the call log and was like, man, that's 25 minutes of my life that I could have been doing something different, something more productive, something exciting, something for me, right? Like something that's more valuable than listening to somebody complain about something that they aren't going to change anyway. And how do I know that? Because those phone calls were not the first phone calls of me hearing these complaints. Okay. So when you see yourself as valuable, you should quickly make the adjustment to things and relationships that do not contribute to your growth. Everything in life is energy. Everything. We have to be aware of the energy that we want, But more importantly, we have to be aware of the energy that we receive. And more times than not, that energy is going to be received indirectly. What happened when I made myself the priority? What happened when I started telling people no, which I found a lot of people struggle with? What happened when I chose me? What happened is that I became a version of myself that I never imagined that I could be. Not because I didn't want to be better. I just didn't know that it was even possible because I'd never seen anyone around me rapidly change in a positive manner in my entire life. So, like I mentioned before, I ended up losing weight. But to begin back when I was 19, I lost 27 pounds in 3 months, entered into the best health of my life. I earned more income than ever before when I chose me. I experienced different levels of wealth and luxury when I chose me. What are the downfalls of not choosing yourself? I believe that the downfalls are predictable. Look at the things in your life right now that you simply want to change, but you have not made the decision to. That's the downfall of what you have to live with if you decide not to choose you. The people in your life that you want to help will never be able to experience the life at the level that you desire for them if you do not choose you. You will be a shell of yourself and would always think about the what could have beens if you don't choose you. Misery is on the other end of disobedience. I've truly found that there is nothing desirable about lack. And if you come from lack or you are currently in lack, you know exactly what I'm speaking of. So I expect everyone under the sound of my voice to be who they were created to be. I'm speaking to you. Be who you were created to be. And I want you to grasp the understanding that growth is the way to endless freedom. Number three would be resilience. This is super important and it is a requirement if you decide to choose yourself. I think back to a time when I was working at a very large beverage company. As I mentioned, during this time of my life, I was 19 years old. I'm super ignorant to what quality relationships look like. And unfortunately, I expected people to look out for me that didn't even know me. And it's weird that I had that state of mind because the way I grew up, it was a dog eat dog mentality. But I want you guys to know that there are people out in the world, including myself, that are willing to invest into people that truly love getting to know a person at the root and help them accomplish what they desire to accomplish. And if you're truly aware, you understand that that is a spiritual law of sowing and reaping. But I lacked awareness, right? I remember I was on workman's comp due to this injury. I worked for $11 an hour less than what I was accustomed to making. I didn't receive any pay for 1 month. Oh my gosh, I was sick to my stomach. I literally remember making phone calls every single day to a designated support rep for my case. And it would always be a back and forth of, I don't know what's going on. I don't know who didn't sign the paperwork. No there was no one taking accountability for what transpired. So I literally couldn't get in contact with who was in control of my money. My relationship with money literally changed. I was a single dad at this time. I had bills to pay and I had to figure it out. And going through that specific situation developed in me a go getter mentality. And that is a requirement. What are the downfalls of lacking resilience? Examine the impact of not having this go-getter mentality, right? For me, I've observed that it will put you in a state of mind of victimhood. What does that mean? A victim state of mind is that no matter what transpires in your life, you are the recipient of everything bad. If you want to know if this is you or not, the question that you would oftentimes ask yourself is, why me? Why me? Why is this happening to me? Oh my gosh, this is always happening to me. Right? I've heard it countless times. But I want you guys to leave this episode with practical things that you can apply. First and foremost, I think that mindfulness and awareness is a starting point as well. Okay? Don't be a victim. Be mindful. Be self-aware. And practicing this mindfulness can enhance your focus, it can reduce stress, and it can cultivate a deeper sense of presence. I love living by the statement, be where your feet are. I have to constantly remind myself this because I'm so ambitious, I'm so disciplined, and everyone is disciplined to some degree. Okay. So I don't want you guys to hear me say that and think that I think I'm the most disciplined person in the world. I'm disciplined with things that are needed, right? I'm disciplined with things that are needed. What are the downfalls? Being disconnected from your thoughts and emotions can lead to impulsive decision making, increased anxiety, and a diminished satisfaction with people and things. I want you guys in this moment to close your eyes. Listen to the sounds going on around you. Feel which direction the wind is blowing in. Feel the energy that you're receiving by just being present. What happened at 12 o'clock at work does not matter right now. What's going to happen tomorrow does not matter right now. The only thing that matters is where you are. That's the only thing that exists. Right now, I am in this this kickback room at my mother-in-law's apartment, these luxury apartments, and I'm not with my wife and my children right now. It's me, my laptop, a microphone, and a bottle of water. It's just me. It's me talking to you guys. And I don't know who's going to listen to this. I don't know who's on the other end of this. It's just my obedience to speak and get these things off of my heart and my spirit because I know that there's people that need to hear it. Because I was once that person that needed to hear it, and I'm still needing to hear these things today, right? As a constant reminder. But I was once searching, but I didn't know what I was searching for. If you guys have never seen the Disney movie Souls, I just recommended it to a cousin of mine, but it's an incredible film. Like there's nothing that I can think about that film that that's just not impressive, right? You think it's about music, and then there's an aspect that talks about our souls, which are our spirits, right? Where do we come from? How we all have these different personalities, etc. And there were certain souls that were lost, and they were in this forbidden area in space. And the human shell of those souls were the people that hated their lives. They despised getting up, going to work. They didn't have any passions to pursue. And it was a it was so revealing for me because I recall shaking so many people's hands. And from the initial handshake, I can just tell how their spirits were. I can tell if they were confident or not. I could tell if they if they had great energy or not. And it's sad to say that there were more people living lost than not. So I know that these words will fall on the ears in this season that are receptive, because receptivity is vital. If you're not receptive to something, and oftentimes it's in the season where you need to be. I just got hit with something right now, right? When when you're in a season where you don't think you need to hear a certain word, oftentimes you need to tuck that in your tool belt and ask yourself, am I being receptive? Can I learn something from this? And oftentimes you can. So I encourage you guys to reflect on your own habits and behaviors related to self-care, boundaries, resilience, and mindfulness. I want to I want to get you all to a point to where you identify where you may be neglecting certain things, and more importantly, your well-being. And I want you to consider implementing some of these things that I talked about today. By you making the decision to prioritize your well-being and your personal growth, you'll be able to better navigate every single challenge that you're faced with. You'll be able to support people effectively and ultimately lead a more fulfilling and happier life. Take one small step towards self-improvement after listening to this episode. Okay. And if you're new to podcasting, I recommend not just listening to this once, but listening to it multiple times in a week. Come back to this specific episode. And if you're a crazy person like I am, listen to it once and then listen to it again to take notes, and then listen to it a third time after you've actually applied the things that were discussed today. I appreciate you. I am rooting for you. I know that you were created for greatness, and I'm here to help pull that out of you. Thank you guys for listening. I pray that you have experienced breakthrough today. And if there's anyone that comes to mind that you think would benefit from this, my deepest ask of you is that you please share it with them. I want you to ask yourself this question: who is waiting on me to succeed? This is Ricardo signing out. I hope that you guys win the day. Go out and fill someone else's cup so that your cup can be filled. See you guys next week.